Case, are you frozen or are you dying?
I'm dying because let me tell you what happened to
Oh,
me.
no. Okay, tell us.
Okay.
What?
So
Casey's
it's a really
ill.
dumb story. Basically, I'm a side sleeper. I love to sleep on my left side specifically. And I was laying on my left side and I was stretching. You know, you like reach your arms up, you're pushing your toes down. So you're like elongating your body. There was a pillow. I like to sleep with a lot of pillows. There was a pillow that got a little bit too low. Like rather than like up by my shoulders, it kind of went down like mid back. And as I was stretching on my left side, it kind of like pushed me up and like arched me a little bit.
Okay.
And then I heard a pop. I was like,
Stop.
fun. Next morning I woke up and I was like, oh, that's kind of sore. Like,
Wait, so this was at
doesn't
night.
feel. Yes. So I went to
Okay.
sleep all night. And like, you know, when you wake up and you kind of like, oh, ow. Like you can kind of feel it in your sleep, but then you just like
Okay.
kind of go back to sleep. So that kind of happened to me all night, but it wasn't anything like huge. And then the next day I went to work and I was like, ow, this is annoying. Like, what the heck? And so people were kind of making fun of me. They're like, oh, you're getting old. You know, like you sleep the wrong way once and it just ruins your life. And I was like, okay,
People are the worst.
kind of, but yeah. So
Like maybe that is happening.
I know. So Thursday was just kind of like, ow, it's annoying. It's whatever. The next day I was like, this is still kind of sore, but like I'm fine. So this is Friday. Friday nights I play in a slow pitch league. And I went up to bat. And this is on my left side reminder. I swung and I'm right-handed. So when you swing, it's all torquing on your left side.
It's twerking on your right side.
Yeah.
Throwing
Twerking.
it back.
Yeah. Sorry.
The pain that I felt in my left side was excruciating. And I was like, I actually said a bad word under my breath, like a bad one. So I was like,
Which one?
the bad one, the one. It was the F word. And I don't say that, you know, like I don't just like drop that like casually in conversation.
Right.
So as soon as I hit it and I said that under my breath, I was like, ooh, this is going to be a bad one. Because I don't think I've ever said that in any of my injuries.
Tell me, did you run the bases?
Yeah. So we played 3 games that night. That was the very first game. I think
You
the
still
first up to
played.
bat.
Yeah.
I stubbed my toe and I'm out down for the
So-
count. Casey breaks like a
She's
vertebrae.
like, I'm fine.
Yeah, so I kept
And
going.
is
So I
still
kept going. And we won
Oh
all
my
3 games.
gosh.
So I'm like, okay, great.
Oh my gosh.
On Friday nights, you know, it's chill. They have like a concession stand open. I got like a couple drinks, and then I had this like pain roller that I just keep in my bag. So I like rolled it on my side, and that was kind of helping. And so like it hurt, but like, you know, I was still kind of like adrenaline jumping or whatever. Then I go to bed. I wake up the next morning and I felt like I got punched in the side, like punched. And I tried to get up out of bed and I could not get out of bed.
Oh no.
So I'm laying on my back because I was like, ow, this kind of hurts. I sleep with a pillow underneath my knees. And so I was like kind of like a little bit propped up and then my knees. And I literally like I could not get up. Any movement I made like with my core trying to move forward was excruciating. So I called
Case.
Bryce and I was like, can you come help me get out of bed? Because he was already awake at that point. So he's like, sure. So he comes in there. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I literally can't get up. Like I can't. I'm trying. Basically, I couldn't lay down for 2 full days. I was in a seated position. I had to sleep sitting up, like sitting up in the couch. I couldn't get up by myself. Bryce had to help me literally do everything. Like, I mean, everything.
Oh my gosh.
And I've been laying in bed for the past 4 days. And then today is the 5th day. And I went back to work today. After.
Did you go to the doctor at all?
Did you ever find out what it was?
I called Jess. And I was like, hey, am I going to die? And she was like, no, it's just, so I looked it up too. And it's what I think it is. I think it's a strain in one of my muscles in between my ribs. It's called an intercostal muscle. and they're like, you can maybe hear it strained by like you hear a little pop. I told you I heard that pop. I don't think it was that bad, but I made it way worse by doing what I was doing because it literally said, this injury is very common amongst baseball players when they swing.
Stop.
And I was like, oh, good. So I did the one thing that I shouldn't have
done. You
to
literally
make it even worse. So, yeah. It's been a
bad
rough
case.
couple
I'm
of days.
sorry.
Yeah.
That sounds bad.
If it doesn't get better, you should go to the doctor. It's like Noah broke his rib once and still like went to work. You know, like he didn't. You know what I mean? Like if it's bad enough, especially you're a trooper. If you have to stay home from work, then it's bad. There's something wrong.
Well,
you know,
I stayed home Monday and Tuesday, so I felt like pretty proud of myself for doing that.
Is it like swelling at all, or it's just like more internal? Like it's not
really swelling. It's more like it was really sore to the touch.
Yeah.
It's like I want you guys
feel
to know
like
how
it's
much
getting
better it is. Yes.
Okay.
A couple disclaimers. I can't really laugh. It hurts too
So
bad to
don't
laugh.
say anything funny.
So you're gonna be. So don't be funny
Don't be
at
funny.
all.
This is a serious episode.
Okay.
So pretty much the rule has been in our house this past week, don't say anything funny because I'm not allowed to laugh.
Stop. That's so
if
sad.
you say something funny, like you gotta cut it out immediately. It hurts to hiccup, it hurts to burp, and it also hurts to breathe. Today has been a lot better.
And it hurts
in terms
to
of
live.
breathing. Yeah. But like if you would have talked to me like yesterday or maybe the day before, and you can still kind of hear it, I'm like a little breathy. But I was talking like this.
Gosh.
Because I couldn't.
Because you probably like
so bad to breathe.
So I had to take like shallow breaths because the bigger breaths that you take, obviously your ribs expand, and you don't realize how big of a rib expansion you have when you breathe until you can't do it. So that's what's going on. So if you say something that literally is so funny, that's a great question.
I want to know. Yeah. Does that?
No, thank you.
You missed that from your list.
I kind of had to go to the bathroom Friday. And then we were playing slow pitch, and I'm not someone who likes to go to like a public bathroom. I'm one of those people. So I was like, it wasn't like I had to go like horribly. Then the next day, Saturday, this is the day where I literally wasn't moving. Okay. I kind of had to go that day, and I said, no, you're just not going to. Like, you're not going.
You told yourself.
So I was waiting to the point where it was literally falling out of my body because I did not want to have to push.
I was shitting my pants.
No, I'm being serious. So now it's Sunday. I was supposed to help at church. I was like, I'm not going.
No, not going in.
Totally.
So it was Sunday, and I was like, oh my gosh, Bryce, I have to poop. And he goes, it's okay. I'm like,
you're like, you don't understand.
It's easy for you to say. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like,
honestly,
literally.
you should have been taking like a laxative or something.
I know.
And
I thought that.
Yeah, that's
as soon as before I had to go.
Yeah.
But then I sat on the toilet and I was like, just breathe. And I didn't push or do anything. And I sat there for probably like 5 minutes. And then it was like, and then it started like coming, and then I didn't really have to like push that hard. So I was really thankful because I was like, I haven't sneezed yet.
That's good.
I keep like holding my nose and like going like,
and do this.
Does that actually help?
Those are my sneezes.
The finger under your nose.
Really?
Yes. That
literally
is
plugging.
Key.
Yes.
Maybe 10% of the time it doesn't work.
Okay.
For
well,
me.
that's pretty good odds.
Usually if I'm like in church or something and we're like praying or there's something quiet and I have to sneeze, I can do that. Put my finger under my nose and
wow. Okay. I need to try that.
Because this is the first time I've ever done it, and it worked. Wow. So
it does. Because there's something with like the air traveling up your nose that makes you sneeze.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like it tickles something. So if you stop that,
then it doesn't. Okay, good to know.
So anyway, so I haven't sneezed yet. I coughed today for the first time, but it was like,
yeah, you're like, okay, got to make this
like
as
I'm not
minimal
even kidding.
as possible.
It was so pathetic. But like clearing my throat is like,
stop.
And it
doing vocal exercises.
So anyway, if you guys say something that literally kills me, and I don't laugh,
okay,
it's not because I don't think you're funny.
I'm offended already.
I literally
just
can't
beam ear to ear, and we'll know.
It hurts so bad.
Just give us the biggest smile possible.
So anyway, if you guys say something that literally kills me and I don't laugh,
Okay.
it's not because I don't think you're funny.
I'm offended already.
I literally
Just
can't
beam ear to ear
laugh
and we'll
or it
know.
hurts so bad.
Just give us the
Yes.
biggest smile possible.
It's okay. But I wanted you guys to know because if I am ever
Thank you.
are you shut up? Come on, guys.
That means
Yeah.
it's good.
Funny.
Okay.
That's it.
How many times can we get Casey to say
Perfect.
shut up?
That's my goal,
Yeah,
actually.
my
My goal is to kind of hurt you. Is that bad? Like that? Sorry. That's funny.
You got her.
I got her. Try not to laugh. One. I got you once.
Oh my gosh.
I'll give you this.
That's good. Thank you for our
Just
audio
breathe out.
listener who is everyone.
Hey, it's Casey.
I'm Meredith.
And this is Kiera.
And we're 3 best friends in a long-distance relationship.
We've learned some valuable lessons along the way over the last 10 years of being friends.
Now let's get to it because
Hi, you guys.
Hi.
hi.
How's everybody doing today?
Oh, peachy.
I was just
Really?
gonna say peachy.
Stole your word.
This is Casey.
And I'm Meredith.
And I'm Kiera. And I think we have a really fun and exciting episode for you guys. We're going to dive into some good deep topics. But honestly, before we get into that, we kind of collectively have been thinking of just a funny intro segment for you guys, our listeners. And I don't know if you guys are on social media, TikTok, but there is a trend going around that is people saying things that would send a Victorian child into a coma, something along those lines. And honestly, I've watched so many videos and they make me crack up every single time. They're hilarious. And people also are so creative with coming up with these things. I'm like, how do you think of that? But we thought it would be a fun little take since we all grew up Mennonite, things that would send our Mennonite ancestors into a coma. So we have a list for you guys. So we're just going to kind of spitfire, hopefully just get a good chuckle out of this before we dive into our topic. But I guess I'll go first and then we can just ping pong.
Okay. Also, no one say anything.
Yeah, true. Casey, okay, can't laugh. Yeah, just tone it down. Okay. The first one that I have, I'm sorry. They're just all funny because just knowing us, anyway. Okay. The first one I have is 2-inch seam shorts. And for a little background, because, finger length or 2 inches above the knee shorts were like the only way to go in school. So.
Well, and that was like the rule for my school. You couldn't wear shorts.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, my school was to the knees. Like they had to be literally at your kneecaps.
Really?
Which they don't even
So
make shorts that
Bermudas.
like fit like that.
No,
Would you get dress coded or have you gotten dress coded?
Some people did at my school.
Yeah.
My school used to have, which they never actually brought it out because they realized like, oh, this is borderline abusive. But they used to have like a shame skirt.
Stop.
Or like a dickie that you would put under.
No.
I think it was a joke. I think.
I've never heard of that.
But also I vaguely remember
I
vaguely remember my friend having to wear the dickie. But again, that could be just my memory. I do not quote me on that. I need to verify that with that friend. But yeah. So we did.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, moving on. But hilarious.
Okay. Yep, that was a good one. Kara. Microwave dinners.
Wow. Not the no potlucks for them. Just
nothing homemade, no lard.
If you're not cooking from scratch, what are you
doing?
doing?
That's a good one.
I like that a lot.
Thank you.
This one's pretty obvious. But not wearing a covering as a woman.
That's true. That's
very
a good
obvious.
One.
Did you guys ever hear them referred to as sin sifters?
Not once.
No.
So I asked my sister for some of these, and she mentioned that, and she used the term sin sifter, and I had never really heard that before. But because like a covering is like mesh, so it's like sifting out the sin.
It's like a doily.
It's like kind of a doily, yeah. Or like some of them are hard. Like my great grandma had one that was like hard, you
Yeah.
But anyways,
and then you had to pin it into your hair.
Yes.
With like pins.
Okay.
Okay, Kira, go.
Second one I have is the Hawaiian roll.
Hawaiian roll.
Like King's Hawaiian roll.
Hawaiian rolls. You know, like a box
Okay.
of like bread
And
that you
not
get
like
from the
the
store.
ones that you
Set
bought
of-
at the
yes.
flea market from an Amish stand.
Correct. Like not
Yeah, totally.
okay.
Yes.
Did you guys ever have Zwieback rolls? Was that a thing in your guys'?
I didn't know what that was, but Bryce
No.
grew up with it. Bryce
Okay,
totally knows.
okay.
I thought the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, why do you guys have hush puppies here?"
Stop.
And he was like, that's Zwieback. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. My bad.
Interesting. Pretty much it's a
Anyway.
bread roll with a little knot at the top. So it just, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Oat milk.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's
a good one.
Going to a church that has a female pastor.
Oh.
Because in the
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
conservative
good.
Mennonite church, that was a
No,
no-no.
yeah,
We
yeah.
had women ushers at one point and people left.
What?
Yeah.
The things these days. That's a good one. Electric cars.
Yeah.
I still am confused on those, to be honest. But so
Yeah.
I'm being sent into a coma, but definitely the Mennonite ancestors.
Yeah.
Coma.
Chief Keef,
What?
the rapper.
Oh,
Chief Keef, the rapper.
Casey's laughing.
I'm sorry, but if you know who Chief Keef is, like he literally recorded an album in prison.
Really?
He's just
I actually don't think I know who that is. I'm gonna out
No.
just
myself.
rap music as a whole, but specifically Chief Keef, I think would just
I like it. Is my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making decisions equally with my husband
I like how yours
as
are
a
all
household. I know mine are all like
like really intense and
beliefs
like
and
beliefs.
values.
Mine are like the electric
Can you
car.
tell that I was hurt?
Oh no, that is a good one though. That I mean, to be fair, that's a good one.
Thank you.
My next one is a cross tattoo. Specifically one that I have on my wrist, which I have been told by my Mennonite ancestors.
Oh.
Why do I have that on my body? Knowing it's, representing my faith, but
Yeah.
we were told to not mark our bodies. So just hell. Okay.
Yep. Casey?
Auto tune.
That one's so funny.
Oh, that's good.
If you've listened to our previous episodes about music, you know that like harmonies and things like that are just so essential in the Mennonite church.
That's
So that
really, really
is
funny.
really good. Wow.
I felt really good about that one.
Oh man.
Knowing, I will say not all, because I don't know all of them, but most of the words to Only by Nicki Minaj. My mom listens to this and I just want to say, Mom, don't look up that song.
Mom, please, if my mom's listening,
Please don't look it up.
Same to
all of
mine.
our moms,
Don't do it.
please.
Don't
Mom,
look
don't
it
do
up.
it.
Well, I have one that kind of resembles that, and I said a Pitbull or Beyonce concert. I feel like I don't know why Pitbull, but he came to mind. They would be like, "Who? Why is this man on the saying?
Yeah.
Been there, done that. Mr. Worldwide." They wouldn't know. They wouldn't know.
I'm sorry, Casey. I'm sorry. This was not a good idea. Casey's dying.
It's going really well. That's why I'm asking you stuff. Okay. I'm gonna tone mine down a little bit.
no.
Okay.
Having a patterned dress beyond just one solid color.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
I will say my relatives did have some patterned. At
I
least
guess
nowadays.
maybe very area.
Sure.
Like
maybe
my
that's an area
Amish
thing.
only would wear about 4 or 5 colors.
Totally.
And I just look at the Amish as what the Mennonites used to dress like.
Yeah, that's kind of true. I only have one more left. My last one.
I have 2 left.
Okay.
I can shimmy mine down to 2.
Okay. You guys keep going ahead if you have more.
Okay.
Having officiated a wedding as a woman.
Shoot, yeah.
And I did have actually at this wedding a Mennonite lady come up to me and ask me word for word, what gives you the right to do this?
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Well, she said, she was like, so what gives you, and she stopped and I said, the right? And she was like, well, yeah.
You
like,
finished the
I
the sentence
did.
for
She
her.
was like, are you
The
like,
internet.
she was like, are you like a pastor? And so I had to explain that, like, anyways, there's this whole legal thing. Like,
vested
yeah.
in me by the internet.
But I said, like, you know, when your friend asks you for a favor, you help. And she said, I guess, and walked away.
That's too much.
Ew.
Yeah.
That is too much.
She was wearing a sin sifter, so she sifted me right out.
She sifted that sin right out of you.
Sip, sip.
Sift.
Sip.
Okay, Kira.
Okay, I said a corset top.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
because
a good
how
one. That's risque.
a good
risque. Not only is it risque, like why
Yeah.
are you wearing something that is corset like outside out in
Totally.
public and not just like, not that was a Mennonite thing,
Undergarments.
but just undergarments on the
Totally.
outside in the world.
Okay. Drag shows.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pride Month too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I have the show, the show Naked and Afraid.
Oh my gosh, that's so
really
funny.
good.
That's
Oh my
really
gosh,
funny.
That's so funny.
Man, I was crying as I was
That's really
writing.
funny.
I was like, I don't know how this got to me right now, but
The grace of God.
Okay, this is my last one. Espresso martinis. Because
Tell me why.
coffee is like, it's sacred in the Mennonite, like in the Mennonite world, you make coffee, at least in my area, you make, like, you have coffee with your friends, you go out to coffee, everything's centralized around coffee. But to demonize the coffee and turn it into an alcoholic
oh
beverage.
yeah, that's true. I
I
love espresso martinis, by the way.
I know, me too.
so
Me too. They're so
That's a good one. Okay, I have a couple more. I have contacts. I have Spotify
yeah.
Wrapped. I have Palm.
You don't even have Spotify Wrapped.
Yes, I do on my laptop. Thank you.
You do Apple Music.
I do Apple
I'm
Music
sorry.
on my phone, but
I'm
I
sorry.
do
Did you say? Can you say that word again?
me
For your computer? Yeah. What did you call it?
my laptop. Did I say that?
Is that a P or a B?
You know, I say it with a B, but I know it's a P. In my heart of hearts, I know.
Say it again. Wait,
Say
say
it
it
again.
again. Wait, say it again.
Laptop.
Kara, I said it like that until I was like 8.
Shut up. I still say it. I know it's with a P, but I just can't get that out of my freaking language.
I'm so glad
Casey's
I
dying.
caught that.
Casey's dying. If she was
Casey's
on right
done
now,
for.
she would be.
She can't even listen to us.
I kid you not. I think 2 years ago, I like spelled it laptop, and then someone was like, "What is that?" I'm like, you know, the thing like that we work on. We're like, that's not correct.
This fits in very well. This fits in very well with what one of my last segment questions.
Oh,
so
okay,
just
good.
keep this in mind.
Okay, put a pin in that. Okay.
Anyways, keep going.
The last two that I have is Zoom, as in like the laptop
Video?
application, and then palm reading.
The laptop.
Palm reading, because they would be like, what even is happening
Yeah.
here? And that's all I got. Also, maybe the show Big Bang Theory, because LOL.
Oh, Big Bang.
Yeah, contradictory to
Yeah, that's true.
Totally. Well, that was
I like
fun.
that segment. Yeah, that made me laugh. Casey's laughing in her dreams.
If anyone was offended by this segment, we are sorry.
Yeah.
But also, no, I'm not sorry.
I mean, we tried to not make it,
Yeah.
offensive.
Yeah.
Just things that
It's
are
all
lighthearted and
fun.
comical.
It's just being silly.
We all
Yeah.
obviously we have family members who are like Mennonite, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just all for fun. So
It's all for funsies. So if you're
all
out there
good fun.
listening,
It's
just
just super duper
super,
fun.
super fun.
it's all just FUN fun.
FUN.
Well,
I was gonna sing
today.
the campfire song
Oh, okay.
from
Sorry.
SpongeBob. I don't know why. I don't know.
Can't relate.
Okay.
Your back is messing you up.
Okay.
Well, today we have just a really fun topic. Speaking of fun,
Yes.
we are going to talk about our image. And we kind of talked about this before we started this.
You sounded like
and
a teacher there for a second. Guys.
Oh,
and
sorry.
Today
Okay,
It was
guys.
cute, though, but it was like-
Like, no,
Today
teacher
we're going
voice.
to talk about trigraphs and short vowel spellings.
I actually need a teaching on that. I need a refresher.
If there's
I know,
a
I was like,
do I know what that is?
if you hear a ch that's after a short vowel, it will be spelled with our trigraph TCH. And if you hear a j after a short vowel, spelled
I
DGE
dumb?
instead of a J. No, I didn't know this either until I started teaching this. And
oh my gosh, I was thinking the same
and guys,
thing. Kara. I was
that's-
like, wait, am I an
no,
idiot?
listen, that's where CK comes in too. CK happens when there's a k after a short vowel. So like in brick, I is a short vowel sound, I. The long vowel sound is, it says its name, I. This was the motion that we would use to teach it. It's the, you just say.
Yikes.
And then A, is A, E. And I learned how to do them all backwards so that
She
my kids could
has
see
two
them.
fingers up and she's just writing the
I'm
letter
just
in the
drawing
air.
the letters in the air. Backwards to me, hopefully forwards to you. But anyways, no, we're not doing phonics today, even though I could nerd out. I love phonics. I love teaching phonics.
I have so many questions, but
We'll talk about it
still
after.
so confused.
We'll learn how to stretch out some phonemes after this. But anyways, today we're going to talk about our image, how we like image maintenance, some things with social anxiety, body image, even our personality, how people perceive us. So it'll just be a real fun episode.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I when we, we kind of threw out a bunch of topics. This is, when we came up with the idea of this, it was just an idea. We've kind of talked about this before. Like, how do we want people to understand us? How do we want people to get to know us? And the big thing that we come back to, and we've said it a lot, is just authenticity. And as we've been friends, we've all dealt individually with different image issues, and you're going to see how we all kind of explain things differently, equally, instrumental in how we have lived our lives. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about this because it's just been a while since we've broken this down with each other, because this isn't something you just like get on the phone and be like, hey guys, how's your image doing
How are you
lately?
viewing
Yeah.
yourself
How you-
today?
Have you been looking in the mirror and been like
You're
really
beautiful.
excited about who you're seeing?
Right.
Like writing it on your
Right.
mirror.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks.
Maybe we should all do that.
But it's like, it's not a super fun topic to talk about, which I think is why we I think historically haven't talked about it for a really long time. So something that I saw you guys recently, I was on TikTok and I can't remember who the creator was, so I'm super sorry. But she was talking about a bunch of different celebrities, artists that were in like late 90s, early 2000s, and how we all viewed them as really, really fat, even though they weren't. So like, for example, that photo of Jessica Simpson that came out in the early 2000s, like after she kind of took a little bit of break from music and like reality, and she came back and she was wearing this like cheetah belt, high-waisted pants, which like we all freaked out. And I even talked to Bryce about it. He goes, oh my gosh, I remember that. Like, why does Bryce
Over the
remember
belt?
Jessica Simpson on a tabloid? Yes, being like I think it was TMZ wrote,
Oh, I see
this
it.
is how
I'm
Jessica
looking it up.
rolls. This is how Jessica rolls.
Oh,
That was
gosh,
like the
that's
title
awful.
of it. And literally
Oh
I'm
my
looking at it. I'm like, oh my
gosh.
gosh, she looks incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I actually love her outfit. Like, she's wearing a black tank top. I'm literally wearing a black tank top right now. Like everything about it is just like, it's super, super trendy. But she got literally run through the muck for how she looked and what she was wearing. And then
Yeah.
another big person that stands out to me is America Ferrera, in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I mean, do you
Yeah.
guys remember that friend group? It was like,
Oh yeah.
they all could
They're all
fit into that pair of
teeny.
pants. And her being like,
Yeah.
I'm curvy. There's no way these are going to fit me. Like, I felt that so deep in my bones. To me, America Ferrera was that girl on the screen that I could identify with. So that was really great that I had someone like that. But in the same breath, she was called the fat one the whole time.
Yeah.
Looking back at photos of her, it's like, that is ridiculous. She literally wasn't. But we were all like brainwashed to believe you had to be so, so skinny, like deathly skinny. And anyone who didn't have that body type was unhealthy or, fill in whatever. But I remember I'm like, well, America Ferrera is like me, therefore I am fat. And what American Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants came out what year? Like
Oh
that
my
was like
gosh.
early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
And so let's say that came out in like 2002 or something like that, right? So I'm barely like scratching 7 years
2005.
old.
2005.
2005. Okay. So at this point, I'm 9, right?
Yeah, like 4th
9
grade.
going on 10, going in, yes, 4th grade, going into the 5th grade. These are pretty instrumental years. You start to actually kind of be aware of like your body. You start to be aware of boys and all of that stuff. And that I remember being like, okay, I'm screwed because she's fat.
Yeah.
I look like her. That's exactly where I'm going. And then it just kind of like went a little bit downhill from there for me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys remember that whole craze of like early 2000s fad diets? I need to look
Oh my
like
gosh.
this. Everyone's going on Weight Watchers. Like,
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the like media being like American Idol that I consumed, I do feel like if someone just didn't fit, I don't even know how to put language on it because there wasn't a standard or a mold, but if someone looked slightly different than everyone else, it was like an outcasted or like, well, then she needs to lose this weight or needs to try this,
Totally.
Yes.
pill, try this new program. I definitely feel like that was a
or
fad.
they would do like a whole segment on that specific thing.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
whole cameo shoot
But
of
then
like
the opposite too
the
of
thing
like
that
if
made that
someone was
person
too
different.
small or if someone lost a bunch of weight, they would judge that. Like even Noah just told me about this today. Like Post Malone just lost a bunch of weight recently, and he had some interview and he said the worst part of it is like all the comments that he's getting are like,
Like he's on
"This
drugs
is
or
what meth
something?
does to you."
Yeah.
But he's like, no, I'm literally like taking care of my body. But like
Right.
people assume like there's so much judgment around what other people's bodies look like when it's literally no one's business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's something we have. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever crack that code. I think just now, especially the last couple years, I think we've been becoming just a little bit more aware of like we shouldn't judge other people's bodies. Like you really don't know what someone is going through themselves. Like I feel like your body is literally the least interesting thing about you. And so the fact that everyone's pointing to that because it's your physical appearance is just BS in my opinion. But I think just in the last couple of years, we've been, I think, understanding a person as a whole is what's important. But I don't think that has always been the case. And I think we have far, 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 further to go. But I get what you're saying, especially from people in like videos and like movies and things that like people that you see online. Like that's kind of what you look up to when you're a little girl, especially.
Totally.
And if you don't feel like you're that, then who do you look to?
I was watching or I was listening to a podcast the other day. It was the What We Said podcast. Just
love
to
that
give
podcast.
credit. And yeah, they had an episode where it was titled like "You're Not Ugly, You're Poor." And they said like this sounds really harsh, but like we don't mean to be harsh in it. But they had like one of them took the time and sat down and added up like if you would do all of the cosmetic things that like these celebrities do, like if you would do lip fillers and liposuction and get a trainer and order like these supplements and blah blah blah, do all the things, it was like $60,000.
What the heck?
Over like the span of like a couple months or something like that. Like it was like some nuts number. That might not be the exact number. I should have written it down. But it was like an astronomical amount of money that's like, yeah, no wonder like the Jenners look the way they do.
Right.
They're literally like that's their job. And B, they have this money to spend on stuff like that. Like how different would I look if I could afford these things? You know what I mean?
Totally. I think the other part about it too that it took me a really long time to realize was that we literally are created very uniquely in the sense where my body physically can only look one way because that is physically the way that my body is designed.
Yeah. My DNA is written already.
My DNA literally will not allow me to look like Britney Spears did in her low-rise outfits back in the day dancing. Like
what a time.
Like that was iconic, and it was like everyone was into low-rise jeans. And I remember, like, literally from such a young age that I could not wear these low-rise jeans. Like, I couldn't, it didn't make sense with my body. I felt like my crack was hanging out half the time, which I'm sure
Yeah.
everybody else felt like that too. Some people really can pull them
I
off, and I am
agree.
happy for them.
Yeah.
But
Not me.
You have to understand which bodies it works for and which ones they don't. But I'm really glad that, there's such a wide range of pants styles that you can actually get away with now, because when everyone was walking around with low-rise jeans, everyone's thong was hanging out and people's muffin tops were spilling over. So like I was so thankful when high-rise jeans came out.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. But it was like, it just sucked because everyone was wearing really, really tight tank tops and low-rise jeans. And it doesn't make sense when you have a certain type of body, and then it makes you feel like there's something wrong with you.
Totally.
And it took a really long time to figure that out.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Clothes are meant to fit you. Like this year was the first year that I had to buy a pair of jeans that were, I'm not going to say what size, but a certain size that is larger than I've ever bought before or ever thought that I would buy. But I got them because they felt so comfy. Like I've been trying to squeeze into this size that I was like 3 years ago that I'm just not anymore. And once I got this pair of pants that is bigger, when I put them on, I feel so much better. Even though, it's a bigger number, but like something my friend Alicia has said this to me of like, your body's never been 27 before. Your body has never been living this day, like August 16, 2023 before. So yeah, your body is changing and it's different, but like that's your body at this age. It's never been this age before. You're not going to be 24 forever. You're not going to be 20 forever.
Yeah,
like this is just where you are.
It's sad to think that you compare yourself to your high school body.
Totally.
Like you weren't even done growing.
Oh
like
my
that's
gosh.
Yeah, I was going to
like
say
kind
that
of gross.
too.
Like why do I look at my 16-year-old self and be like, yeah, those were the good old days. I look at myself when I was 16. I thought I was insanely fat.
Yeah,
But also
that
I
nuts?
look like a skeleton. Like
Yeah.
I didn't like the way that I looked when I was 16 now that I look back on it. But I thought I was fat.
Yeah.
And it's like we keep looking back at the years we were, wishing we could be those years, but we're not living currently right now. So we're always living to hate
Which
who
is
we've been.
Yeah.
It's just
Which is funny
depressing.
because I do feel like future us, 27 year in the future us, is going to look back on us right now and be like, wow, I would have like killed for whether that be that
Totally.
skin, that, maybe even like mindset,
pre-kids or
that whatever.
whatever.
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
I feel like putting that into perspective of like, that is how I felt. But also that was when you were literally high school, middle school. You're not in that stage of life. You're here. So just love it while you can. And I saw this TikTok of it was like a couple moms telling like just giving advice of like what they wish that they would like or what they would tell their 20-year-old self. And one of them was like, they kind of hated to say it, but it was like, just like stop worrying about losing weight and just get comfortable in your body, because the more that you worry about things with your body, like the more it's just going to take over every aspect of your life. Like it's going to get into your mental health. It's going to get into, physical. It's going to get into all of these circles. And so if you don't just learn to just love it as is, which is hard. I don't think I'm there yet, to be honest. I'm saying that and I'm not there. But I do feel like that is just key to living a contentful life, because then that's the last thing you're thinking of.
You know what is something that no one prepped me for in adulthood? Varicose veins. Do you guys have those on your thighs?
Yeah, I do.
Like the veins that like when you cross your legs, they like kind of hurt. Like they're bad on my legs.
Really?
And no one prepped me for that.
Really?
I don't know about you guys.
Wait, are those the veins that they're like, I think I know what
they're
you
like
mean.
on the side of your leg here.
Yeah.
Like on your thigh.
I'm looking at them right now.
I mean, they're not like bad, but like if they look like this when I'm 27, what are these going to look like when I'm 50?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't mean this to be rude at all. Is that like a white person thing?
Could be.
No, it's like maybe it's covered more if your skin's darker, but like a lot of times it's a pain thing too. Like if they're like,
what are they, varicose?
if you look at older women's legs, they're like their veins look really inflamed and almost like poppy. Are you Googling it?
Yes. Veins are twisted, enlarged veins. Any vein that is close to the skin surface can become varicosed.
Yeah, I Googled it the one time to see if I could prevent it and like read like it's all about blood and I almost passed out.
Really?
Yeah, I like can't do blood. I don't know why
Oh,
as
I
I get
didn't know
older,
that.
I like can't do that. Ever since I did plasma and passed out.
Yes, been there, done that.
Varicose veins appear to be more common in non-Hispanic whites than Hispanics, African Americans, and East Asians. I just had to say
Really?
that.
Oh,
There we go.
Yes.
Found the answer.
Every time I cross my legs, I think about it because that's what like speeds the process of them is crossing your legs. It's like a circulation thing.
Fascinating. I didn't know what they were called, but
And I'm like getting them on my calves too, like where my calf hits my knee when I cross my legs.
oh, okay.
It
Maybe just
hurts.
like don't cross your legs.
I know,
Yeah,
but it's so
da, da, da.
comfy.
No.
I want.
know. If someone told me, "Hey, you need to stop crossing your legs," I'd be like,
Like, what am I
you
gonna
need
like
to get out of
spread
my life.
eagle?
you need to get out of my
Right?
life. I know.
What if I'm wearing a skirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like being an adult has,
Yeah.
is not. I've not been prepped for a lot of things, but I think for me, something that I'm kind of thinking in terms of image management, and I did Google what the definition was, just because I was curious, and it says image management is the ongoing process of evaluating and controlling the impact of your appearance and the resulting response on you and others. And I do feel like just when we're younger, we're taught to do this, but not that. Kind of not to toot the Barbie's horn, but the whole America Ferrera speech was, I think, just super true of just like you're supposed to be powerful but not too powerful, beautiful but not too beautiful, thin but not too thin. Like all of these levels that are extremely hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in like parallel with that, I feel like for me, and it wasn't even like my household issue, it was just more of what I feel like was being fed to me in elementary and middle school was to be like a small subdued version of myself. So not to be too flashy was always the line of like not be too flashy, not be too much of a big personality. Even in church, I feel like if someone like raised their hands, it was like, whoa, what are you doing? Now everyone's looking.
Do you have
And
a
that was
question?
exactly like it was so out of the ordinary that it almost was like, I don't know how to handle this. Which I feel like for me in turn taught me that I am sometimes too much for people or take up too much space, or my personality is just like, I guess, too much. So I don't know, that's just something that I've been thinking about, how like what are spaces now that I still feel like I need to not be flashy, not say my mind because that's going to be too much, when am I pushing down my personality, whether it be work or friendships or my relationship or whatever the case may be. I still find that struggle to this day, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've always struggled with what people think of me. Like I just care so intensely about putting off this like perfect persona that people want to be my friend. I don't know, or not even be my friend, but just like me and accept me. And I find myself trying to fit whatever mold like they need me for me to be. And I think that's like we talked about Enneagram before, but like I'm a 4 wing 3, and that's where my wing 3 pops out is like I will perform and do whatever I need to be accepted in this group. And that just like is super inauthentic sometimes. Like I find myself sometimes in conversations with people and they're talking about things. I'm like, man, I don't agree with you at all, but I'm nodding my head because I need you to accept me. But that's
You don't want to rock the boat.
yes, yeah, totally.
I feel that.
Yeah, and I think I just had so I don't even know how to say this. From a young age, people commented on how I looked, how I acted. Like I can recall certain instances where like I had someone who at the time was a really close friend like just say like no wonder these people don't want to be your friend, like things like that, or like there's just those memories that are like ooh, those just like stick, that are like okay, so I need to be this person around this person, around this group of people, so that they want to be my friend, or so that they accept me, or, you know, like and that's still something that even now as like an adult, I'm like fighting with, you know, like how I think that's what college was such a instrumental time for me, of like, who am I really? Who am I outside of Belleville? Who am I outside of Heston? Who am I outside of Northwestern? Like, who is Meredith? Like, who am I when I'm not trying to put on a show to be loved? And I think now I found who I am. And if people don't like me, that's okay. Like, I don't need to be everyone's friend. And I think now I've come to that realization where I'm just not gonna be, but no one's gonna mesh with every single person, you know, unless you're a politician. But even well, I guess especially not a politician, but yeah, anyways.
Well, good for you, Mare. Good for you. That's a
Yeah.
huge
I'm not
step.
perfect in it. Obviously, I'm trying, like, still learning every day, but
Yeah.
But just even being aware of the fact that that's how you feel
Yeah.
is huge, because some people don't realize that, and then you're
Yeah.
like two-faced, because they're hopping from group to group, acting one way and agreeing with this group but also agreeing with this group, and it's like,
It's exhausting.
who
Totally.
are you going to be? And so that is exhausting. So I'm glad that you're
Yeah.
aware of that,
Yeah.
because I've been meaning to talk to you about that. No, I'm just
Stop.
Oh, shut up.
Wait, I have something that I want to piggyback off of that.
Your eyes
before
got
that.
so wide.
The eyes. Because actually, I've been feeling the same way. I don't think I've struggled with that when I was younger a ton, but just lately in my adulthood, like probably the last like 3 years. And I don't know if it's because the workplace plays into it. So it's like this need to be looked at a certain way and be deemed as successful, or like a really good, you know, employee, or whatever that, you know, rolls out. But I feel like I've been struggling a lot lately with my confidence in every aspect. I feel like I've been really getting attacked with confidence in like my, kind of like what we were saying before, like my body, my confidence in my relationships, my confidence in at my job, my like just in almost every area. And it's so annoying. But I was going to therapy, and she was kind of telling me that exact same thing of like, I'm struggling with feeling like maybe in one season of my life, I was this person. I like gave out this energy. I, you know, did X, Y, and Z, but I'm in a different season of life, and I maybe like am channeling a different energy. Like maybe I'm a little bit more subdued. Maybe I'm a little bit more contemplative. Maybe I'm a little bit more reflective. Whereas before I would have jumped the gun for going out with friends at 11. Maybe I would, you know, be like the funny one, the one that was super chatty, but I'm just in a different, my energy is different in the season of my life. And she's saying that I'm feeling like I'm having to match like a different version of me. And that's super exhausting when I feel like I'm not living up to someone that I used to be. So then I'm second guessing everything, and I'm losing my confidence. I don't know what my identity is. And also then I'm like, well, now I have to people
Probably
please.
a little bit of an identity crisis.
I think so, probably. But then I feel like I need to people please other people and be a different version of myself that I was. Maybe it wasn't healthy me, but I feel like I need to tap into that, because I need to please everyone around me and make everyone feel comfortable. Because if I, God forbid, I put up, you know, a boundary or whatever that's not normal, then it seems like I'm like there's friction there or something. So maybe it's more identity than confidence, but I think it kind of all flows together. But I think but I don't want anyone to think of me as like less than what I, you know, either used to be or something. And I think that's a hard place to
You've
be.
changed. You're not the same.
Right. And I've had
person
some people
I
say that.
knew.
And I'm like, well, maybe that's for the better. But it's hard when
I
you
don't
hear
want to
that.
be the same
Who wants to
person I
be-
was at
I
21.
know, who wants to be the same- Yes.
Exactly.
I was
Yeah,
a
you're right.
ding dong. I don't want to hang out with her.
Yeah.
Who
I don't want to
is
hang with her
she?
either. That Casey sucked.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Stop.
Yeah, wow.
Just
okay, jeez.
18-year-old Casey.
Gosh.
God, ooh, 18
Just
years
kidding.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that's hard for some people to move forward, like more hard than others. And maybe that's just like attention to of like putting past in the past. But that's hard when your friendship was built on something that, you know, maybe was like in an unhealthy season of your life, but that's how it started. That's what someone's going to think of you as. And that's just a hard
That
tension.
totally makes sense. I'm glad that you're also realizing that though, because that sucks. I mean, there's totally been different versions of myself too. I've been the sporty Casey, and I call myself a NARP now, a non-athletic regular
Oh,
person,
yeah.
because I don't,
I've never heard that.
because I'm not a, NARP. You can call your friends who don't play sports that.
Well, I play pickleball tonight, so
When I
I'm
left
an athlete.
college,
I don't know. It's whatever.
Stop. Okay,
yeah,
Brotsworth.
yeah,
Brotsworth. Wait, what? Bratwurst.
Bratwurst.
Wow, that was really hard.
Good job.
When I left college, I was having an identity crisis because I didn't know how to identify myself in terms of how to be healthy anymore. When you're an athlete and when you go to college,
You mean like physically healthy?
workouts are planned for you. Yes, your workouts are planned for you. You know when you're going to eat because you all eat at the same time. You do everything together. Basically, your life is completely scheduled, routined, all of that stuff. Then you leave college, you don't play that anymore. So how do you work out? How do you train? Because I'm not training to be an athlete. I'm just training to live a normal life. But how do you work out to be a normal person if you've never done that before? Also, you started birth control and your hormones are all over the
Totally.
world. And oh, cool. Where did these 20 pounds come from? That doesn't make any sense. I didn't change anything about my life. If anything, I'm doing less than I ever have and eating less because I'm not as hungry
Yeah.
because I'm not working out all the time. And then, oh my gosh, okay, why am I getting acne in my adulthood? This is stupid. I thought this was only for teenagers. And then it's like you having this whole identity crisis of, I thought when I got to this age, that was supposed to be over with. And it's like, and in the moment, and I know this isn't true, but you feel like you're the only person in the world who's going through that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
when you like go to work out and you don't know what you're doing, but you've always known what you're doing. And now you have to go to the gym and you look at everything. And I think for the first time you look at it and you feel like a normal person, like who walks into the gym and doesn't know what to do. It's so overwhelming that you just want to leave.
Yeah.
And you can't do the same things that you did before because your body just isn't the same as it was. So then it feels like you're not the same as who you were because the things that you're so used to doing don't come as easily to you anymore. Hence this whole stupid rib injury. Like it's really, I want to say demoralizing. It seems a bit dramatic, humbling, but it's like, who am I? These are all the things that I could do. And now I can't. Like, what am I supposed to be? How am I supposed to just continue to live life with all of these things happening to me that I don't know how to handle?
Yeah.
And then I'm someone who, when I have a million things swallowing me up at once, I shut down because I don't know how to handle it. So then I'm like, okay, let's shove that in a bottle and let's wait for that bottle to absolutely explode so that everything comes out. And then I'm going to deal with it then. But until that bottle is full, you're going to be tucked away and I'm not going to worry about you. But it's really, really hard as you get older. Like, oh, I thought I was supposed to be done worrying about how I looked, like how I fit in my clothes and how am I as trendy as my friends? Like, all of those things do not go away. And how you navigate them now that I'm a little bit older and hopefully a little bit wiser, I want to do it better this time around because the way that I feel now, although it may be similar, there's different ways for me to cope with it. And there's better outlets instead of, oh, wow, I looked really fat in that picture. You're not going to eat for the next couple of days. Like, how can I handle what I'm seeing and deal with it in a healthy way? And how can I, talk to the friends that I need to talk to or whoever I need to talk to in order to come to, a better resolution? And how can I deal with it moving forward? And what's the best thing that I can do? Because you are going to change. You're not going to be the same. And thank God, because
Gross.
ew, I don't want to be the same person that I was when I was 18. Ew. Can you believe that, you guys? That would be disgusting if I literally never changed and I was the same. Gross. But like, how can you continue to adapt in your life and just be a better version, even though things are still hard, how can you handle it and deal with it better
Totally.
this next time around? Because I think this is just a cycle. We're going to keep running into the same problems, just in different phases of our lives. So how can we deal with it
Yeah,
this next time
that's
around?
true.
So I'm hoping I can do that a little
And
bit better.
honestly, like a lot of times we can't do it by ourselves. Like we can't, like I can't
No.
will myself to think more positively. I can't will myself to do these things. A lot of times, like it just some people, like a lot of times you need external help, whether that's like
Yeah.
therapy,
Mhm.
whether that's like a coach, like a life coach is such a like stigmatized thing. But I like have a friend who's a life coach, and he literally is basically like a mentor to people. Like it's, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like
yeah. Just
or
someone else.
some sort of
Yeah.
like external thing that can teach you, because like yeah, it's great to like sit and journal and do things like that, but sometimes this stuff, if we don't deal with it, it's going to come out somehow, and if we don't just bring it to the surface
Absolutely.
in a healthy way, it's going to come out sideways. Like our garbage disposal was broken last week, and when I turned it on, stuff came flying out of it.
Gross.
That's
Versus like
disgusting.
taking
That's
time to
disgusting.
like clean it out, you know? Like if we don't deal with it, it's going to come out
Yeah.
sideways in an ugly way.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good word.
Mhm.
So-
Okay.
The podcast that I talked about on last week's episode, The Basement with Tim Ross. I love that podcast, so I'm just always going to talk about it. But he says, what doesn't come out of you verbally, like what you don't vocalize and what you don't tell people, will come out of your body physically.
Totally.
Whether that's a bad addiction to, you fill in the blank. You guys, we
Yep.
all know our struggles.
Yep.
Or, you know, physically doing harm to yourself, or, you know, any way that you decide to bottle this up and not deal with it, your body has to deal with it. So they're going to figure out a way to do it. Whether or not that's verbally and out to somebody else, you're going to physically deal with that for not, you know, getting it off your chest. And so that's, I love what you said,
really
Mary.
good.
It's so important to just get external help.
I feel
My
like
goodness.
too, I heard recently the phrase choose your hard, and like it's hard work going to those places. Like it's not really easy going and digging up like those things of like why you are the way you are, and this whole idea of image management and maintenance and things, and kind of like taking a poll on the things of in your life that have happened, and you know, what are your triggers now, what's your personality now. But I feel like it's hard work, but it's good work. And it's equally as hard to not do anything, because you're going to pay for that in the end, somehow, some way. Kind of like what you said, Case, whether that turns into some bad repetitious cycle in your life, or maybe not even in your life. Maybe it's like in your kid's life or something. If you don't deal with it now, it will be passed on somehow, some way. And that's equally as hard, just being stagnant. But it's also hard work. Choosing to, you know, go to therapy, choosing to talk to someone, because I really do think that's helpful to vocalize it. I'm in my head a lot of the day, but I know it's not a good place up there sometimes. So I'm like, if I don't
by
get these,
myself, it's not good.
not fun. So I just know if I don't get things out, and that's where a lot of our revelations too, I feel like, have come from being friends. Like we've talked before in previous episodes, things that we've recognized are monumental moments in our lives have been just from talking about a scenario and then realizing, oh, this emotion is tied to that thing when I was 6 years old and didn't know it, you know. So
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm thankful for like us
And I think
three.
Yeah. And I think when I see things coming out in you guys that I know that this isn't natural, it's easy for us, because we have a relationship, to be like, hey, I love you. A. B. Why do you keep doing this? Like, this isn't you, or like, is something going on? You're acting a certain type of way that you don't normally act. And I think sometimes this is like very brief, like, I don't want to get into it too much, but like when you're afraid to fail, or like you are failing, but you're scared to admit it, you're never going to get better. So you don't allow yourself to let other people see your failure or admit your failure to yourself. But the best way to fail forward is when people are surrounding you and they love you and they want to see you do better. So they call you out in love.
Yeah.
To make you better, to someone who can have an honest and real conversation with you and be like, because like I'll never forget, like I thought I was getting away with like not eating. I thought I was the only one who knew. And then someone said, it was like a competition all weekend to see who wasn't going to pay the most money. And I was like, oh yeah, guys, I've spent like no money. And they're like, yeah, because you haven't eaten anything. And that, like, I haven't forgotten that comment. And it's like, it's little moments like that where it's like, okay, thank you for saying that, because I thought I had a secret little world up here and nobody knew about it. And I thought I was safe.
Wait, that's slick.
You guys get
Yeah.
it. You get what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
But like, you need those people in your life to call you out, to tell you,
Hey, what's
dude, what are
going
you
on?
doing?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of being called out, I have someone to call. No, I'm kidding.
You're Mara got scared again. Well, thank you guys so much for bearing your souls with
Yeah,
me.
you too.
This was good. I think I needed to get this.
Thanks
off my
for
chest.
this therapy
Yeah.
session.
I
Free
think also
therapy.
too, like, if you're listening and honestly you feel like you've connected with anything we've said, can you please, like, feel free to message us, ask us questions, because we're not perfect. We are learning. And I'd like to say we've learned a couple things over the years. And so if you're like, I don't know how to get into therapy, or I don't know how to talk to my mom or my friends or my dad or my boyfriend or my husband or whatever about this, like, chances are we've probably done it at this point. Yes. Like, we're
if
happy
we haven't
to,
done it, if we don't know, like, we in our areas at least know of, like, oh, here's this person or here's this place you can go to. So
yes,
please reach out if
Yes.
you're struggling with any of this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
we can point you in the right direction.
Yes, don't deal with it by
no, don't.
yourself, please.
But also this idea of just like everything we've talked about, we only talked really about like 3 big topics, but knowing there's so many more, like I feel like you could talk about this
We can make a whole
for
podcast
days,
about
a
just
whole
this.
podcast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. So knowing that these are just like our biggest 3 struggles, but thank you guys for like listening and being like helping us be vulnerable, because
Totally.
like Casey said, that's what we want. That's what we're about.
Yeah.
So,
and if you want us to talk about it more, just like let us know, because I think we probably could.
let us know.
Let us know.
Let us know.
Well, I'd say it's time for our ending segment. I feel like this segment needs a name, but I don't know what name.
I know. What should we name it?
I don't know what to give it.
Mare brings down the
I was
mood.
throwing around. I like that.
That's actually kind of funny. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be.
Okay, I love it. Okay, so here we are. I have 2 topics. We could talk about one of these. Okay, one.
Okay.
What is a word? This goes with what we talked about earlier with laptop, except that was pronunciation. What is a word that you chronically misspell? No matter how many times you've tried to spell it the right way, what is one word that you chronically can never spell correctly? So that's one, okay?
Okay.
2, what is a show from your childhood that you would want to bring back? Not just a kid's show. It can be any type of like reality show or like a specific season from a reality show or something like that.
Dang.
If you could bring back any show from your childhood,
Mary, those
what would you
2
do?
are good.
Thank you.
I want to
Those
do
are
the
really good.
first one, but I feel like Casey
Really?
wants to do the second one.
Well, we could also
super
do
duper true.
maybe an Instagram story of the
That's
other
true.
one.
We could. Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
that's fine.
That's a good. I'm not like.
So which one should we do here?
Kiara,
Let's
you can
do
pick.
the spelling one, because we could put on a picture of the show, like on our story or whatever, you know?
How about we choose our show
whatever
off
show.
camera or like off pod, and we'll post it.
And then on the story, we can send it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
cool.
a good idea.
Cool.
I love that.
Okay, Kiara, you can go first since you obviously know what you're gonna say.
I have 3 off the top of my head that are the big 3 that I literally don't know how to spell to this day. The first one is definitely.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that.
I cannot spell definitely. I cannot do it.
My trick.
I still don't know.
My trick, Kiara,
Every time
is
I
like
do it, autocorrects.
Define Italy.
Define Itely is how I do it. Define Itely.
Definitely.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Definitely.
Okay, definitely.
You can choose your adventure.
That one, I'm going to say February.
Oh, really?
With the
that
R.
one's really hard.
Okay.
February is still confusing to me.
Okay.
And then, I was going to say Wednesday, but that seems not right. So I'm going to stick with February indefinitely.
Wednesday can be tricky. There's a like
Wednesday.
but I feel like
Wednesday.
we know that now.
Yeah,
you know,
I think we
Yeah,
didn't we grow out of
exactly,
that
exactly.
maybe a while ago. Maybe not.
Apparently not.
I
No,
guess Kiara
not me,
didn't.
Kate.
That's
Okay,
okay.
sassy
It's okay.
case.
Mine is
Okay.
Kiara's last name. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, though, let's be
Stop.
real. My
Okay,
last
mine is
name.
also my last name.
My last name. Nobody knows how to
I
spell my
also
last
don't
name.
know it.
Nitchy. Oh, it just has every
no.
letter in the alphabet in it.
Yeah.
That's how I
No,
remember
Okay,
it.
every
who can
single-
spell it right? Ready,
every
set,
single
go.
letter.
Nitzsche.
That's what I was going to say as well.
10 points.
Yep.
Well, I was an honorary Nitchy for 2 summers.
That's
That's
true.
so-
That's true.
That's true. You better have learned
Welcome to the
it.
show
I still don't know my
where the
last name,
points don't
so.
matter.
Get out of here. Okay, Casey, what is your
Casey, what's
word
yours?
or words?
I was gonna say definitely, but that's so overdone at this point.
Taken.
One word
It's
that I actually
so
struggle with
2
on the
minutes ago.
daily, and I don't know, maybe you guys feel this way, like typing versus writing. Some words are harder to spell. Does that make sense? Okay, maybe not.
Okay.
Sure.
Whatever.
You have
If-
muscle memory and
Yes,
typing.
muscle memory and typing, or muscle memory and handwriting rather than typing, or
Yeah.
my fingers just get fumbly.
Sure.
Maintenance.
I
That is a
actually
good one. That's a good one.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
A lot of like sometimes I like do an E instead of an A,
Maintenance.
and I don't know.
Yeah.
Maintenance is a hard one. I
I'd agree
have
with
to
that,
I have
actually.
to write that actually
Yeah.
a lot for my job, like maintenance requests we have, and I have to submit
Oh,
them, and so
yeah.
I end up writing maintenance a lot, and I'm like, have I not figured this out yet? Like this
I
is
hate that for you.
that's actually making me mad.
Man.
But I think I don't know. Some days are better than others, but maintenance that gets me.
Sure.
Ooh, rhythm. I thought of another one. Rhythm.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has an N or not an N. Like rhythm or just
Wait, what? An N?
like RHYTHM. For some reason, I want to write an N.
There's no N.
No,
That's
not at
not the
all.
part of that word that I would think is hard.
That's what I was
What
thinking.
part do you
It was
think is
the
hard?
H,
I was
the
thinking where you put the
RHY.
H.
The RHYTHM.
RHY.
Yeah, there's absolutely no N in that word.
I've gotten the RHY down. It's just
That's the
there's
hard.
no
That's
N,
the
but
hard
I want to
part.
put an N.
There's
I
no
don't,
N.
Well,
Just
I don't
remember.
know.
There's no N.
But
Okay,
then album has
that's
the
not the
N.
No,
same word
it doesn't.
at all.
Album?
It doesn't?
No.
Album?
ALBUMN. No,
No.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. She's serious. No.
You're joking.
Oh my gosh. You're serious.
Wait,
There's no N
I'm
in
googling this.
album.
No, Kira. Don't Google it.
Album.
You don't need to Google.
Don't.
I need to.
We're trying to help you.
Yeah. Guys, Kiara's really
Oh,
smart.
yeah.
We promise.
You are on live national
I promise.
broadcasting.
Well,
podcast,
no,
radio.
I definitely didn't do that. Okay, well, actually, this is kind of funny because today at work, someone just had a baby like this month, and everyone's like, oh, so they must have gotten pregnant, just being stupid in this month. And I'm like, guys, that's not 9 months ago. And they were like, what do you mean it's not 9 months ago? I swear, sometimes I'm a little off because in my mind, August, September, October, they got pregnant in November because that's 9 months ago. But then they were saying that it would have been December. But I'm like, isn't December 8? Like, isn't that
Maybe we
not
had to
right?
be there, Kira, because I'm really struggling to follow with what you're saying right now.
You know
Really?
what? Due dates are really odd though, because I've
dates
tried
are
to
hard.
plan out of
Well,
like, yeah.
I don't know
Not
if it's
that I'm
actually
pregnant.
like 9
Don't
months.
think that.
I didn't. I don't think it's actually 9 months. Like it's actually like either 9 and some change, or it's something
It's
that's
like-
not
Yeah.
actually what we say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but
don't feel
still,
bad
like
about
when you
that.
think of 9 months, I think anyway.
Totally.
I'm like
I
a
think 9
legit
months.
9 month, and they
Yeah.
were anyway. And then I felt dumb, and I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? I can't math, and
So I also
again, I
think
can't
album
spell,
has an
so
N and rhythm. So
It doesn't.
I don't know what world I'm living in. Sorry, that's the Canadian way to spell it. So
shush.
Oh my god.
yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
Get out
it's
of here.
Canadian way. So I think I'm fine.
Okay, Mare, what's yours?
Well, so when I was growing up, one of my like ADD like tics in my head was spelling out things that people said. So I actually pride myself in being a pretty good speller because I just practiced that constantly. Like while my teacher was talking, I would just spell things that she was saying.
Totally. Or like guess what she's gonna say. Like anticipate
Totally.
every single word that's gonna come out of her
100%. Or do
I do
that.
that
I would
so
do
hard.
that ear thing where you
I do
like
that now.
close and open your ears really
Close.
fast so that
Yes.
it was like so, oh, ah, ee, ooh, ee, ah, ooh.
Or you guys could just have like a partially deaf ear, and then like you can just live
Oh, I
your
forgot.
constant life in that state.
Casey's deaf.
You can also do
I-
that, you guys.
Kiera's deaf. I forgot that Casey. I
I
always
prefer
forget
to
that until you bring
choose
it up.
when I go
and
deaf. So by plugging my ears.
By
thanks.
plugging the ears.
wish I could
At
turn
a
it
rapid
on and
pace.
off. I wish.
Well, sorry, be better. My word. Actually, guys, this one's bad. I
Oh,
can
no.
never spell my dad's name correctly.
Keith?
Keith. I always
K-E-I.
mix
Do you
up
do the
the
I
EI.
I before E except after
C.
You're the one who's teaching
I always,
phonics.
I know, but there's some rules. Like some words are weird. Like weird is a weird word. It's W-E-I.
I know, but you just have to
so then I
memorize
spell
it.
Keith, K-E-I-T-H.
That is right.
Yeah, that's right.
Or maybe I spell it K-I-E. See, right? You say like I before E except after C, but it's not it. Right?
Wait, Kiera did.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm dumb.
No, that's the thing.
Wow, we totally shamed you. We totally
No,
shamed
thank
you.
you. Like, I'm thinking about it, and
my
I'm
bad.
like, whichever way I choose is always wrong the first time. I always
Not
choose
me
the
thinking
wrong
a
one
K
the
was
first
a
time.
C.
Right? Can you spell the name Keith right now?
Yeah,
Is it E first or is it I
K-E-I-T-H.
first?
Yeah, because
Are
you say
you sure?
Keith. You don't
Google
say
it.
Keith. You don't say Keith. You say Keith. K-E.
That's not always an indicator, though.
I know, but it is. I know
Otherwise-
how to spell Keith.
No,
I know
it
how to
isn't.
freaking spell Keith.
Okay, that
Who else,
okay.
how
but
else do you spell Keith?
no, that you're right in that that is the spelling of Keith. But whatever the vowel sound is not always an indicator of what the first vowel is.
But
otherwise
you have
we
to
would
memorize
teach
it per
kids
word.
that.
I know, but I'm saying
I
you have to
know, but
memorize it per word.
You're correct, Casey.
That is
I'm
kinda
saying
confusing.
that I can never remember that for that name. I can never.
Well,
I just can't.
work
I'm gonna
on
forget
it.
it tomorrow.
Sorry, Keith.
Sorry, Dad.
If you're out there.
My next one
Yeah, Keith.
is.
Keith
I
Spiker.
just did this one today. Equipment. I
Oh.
always want to put equipped with a T.
Oh.
It's equipped
I get that.
with it. Just a
Mint.
P.
Oh.
And then
Okay,
ment.
I see that.
E-Q-U-I-P-M-E-N-T.
Yep. Equipment. It's equipment.
Hey, did you guys watch Aquila and the Bee and like were you guys
Totally.
ready to go to the National Spelling Bee?
Oh,
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
And I was
Man,
like jump roping to spell words after that. Like
We
Dang,
had
that's
in my
such a
Netflix
good
deliver that
movie.
when Netflix delivered DVDs.
yes, baby.
Redbox?
We had that too. Oh,
Totally.
we had that. No. Remember Netflix used to like
Netflix-
actually be you'd order DVDs and you'd have
That's
a
what
queue
ran
set,
Blockbuster out of business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
and you could return
And now
it
it's
whenever
streaming.
you wanted.
I feel like there's
That was a
got
good
to be
one.
so many more that I'm going to dream about tonight.
Well, and I'm
And let
really
you guys
excited to
know.
post my show that I wish would have
Yeah.
stayed on.
Of course, this episode is going to
True.
come out
I want
in
to.
2 weeks. So we got 2 weeks to think about it.
It's going to be the Amanda Bynes show.
Amanda
Show. That was such a good one. I
What
think
was
that's gonna be
who
mine.
was the
Bring out the dancing lobsters.
who was the
Nope.
the crazy?
Wow, I thought you guys would get into that. What the heck?
No, because I'm into that, but I'm trying to think of the. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
Yes, it was-
Yeah,
What was that?
it was like
She
this like
just,
gross
was negative
character
about
that she did.
everything. And yeah, it was really gross.
My parents thought that show was so dumb they didn't let me watch it, but I would
Mm.
sneak it
Oh yeah.
because I'm bad.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
bedtime.
No. Anyway.
It's
Okay,
bedtime.
Well, we love you guys.
We love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for
Love
listening.
you. Hey, don't forget to rate,
Review.
Yeah.
Give us 5
Subscribe.
stars.
email us at itsbeenforeverpod@gmail. Like we just interact
Check
with
us out
guys.
on
We like you.
Facebook and Instagram.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
if you guys are like, I don't do the Twitter,
Twitter.
I don't do the TikTok, and I don't do all the dancing and stuff, then you can go hang
Go
out on
hang
Facebook
out.
with us.
We'll
That's fine
post
too.
there.
Go hang out on Facebook.
But
Okay.
okay, until next time. I love you
right, well, we love you
guys. Bye.
Bye.